I'm not shitting on people that make presets, but you know, 99% of the time, that preset's not gonna work 100%. Yo, what up YouTube? It is me, Kenny, MelloK, formerly known as Mellow Visuals. It's been a minute since I uploaded a video and I'm not even sure if this will make it to my channel, but I am putting in an effort. For the few years I was away from YouTube, I really felt like a lot of my content wasn't really up to the level I wanted it to be. I really forgot that for me to get to that level, I have to put in the work. I have to put in the hours. As with the vlogs, I really want to take the time to do it, piece it together, because you know, to me, vlogs are really more of a diary, and with the diary I wanted to tell a story about me, and so when I watch it again I remember these things, and that's how I want my vlog to be. So if this isn't a vlog, then why am I doing this video? For the past year and a half I've actually dived really deep into the portrait photography world. In particular, I've been sharing my work on Instagram, and since then a lot of people have asked me, how do I edit my portraits? Is there online tutorials that I can provide? Hence the reason why I started doing this video. See, there's a lot of portrait photographers out there that are doing online tutorials. I didn't want to do the same thing and waste people's time. I wanted to add value to people's life. So this whole time I've been thinking about how I'm going to deliver this, how I'm going to add value, what difference can I make, or how do I make it more digestible for people. And I've been doing a lot of thinking and not a lot of doing, which is the problem. But you know what, I figured I might as well just do it, and maybe people absorb it differently, or at least go get some feedback from people. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Today I'm going to run through my editing workflow, just basically touch base at a very high level of the steps I do and the things I look at, and then later on in later videos, hopefully I'll get to go into more detail and really show you the theory behind it, how it works, and just a couple of tips here and there. Okay, so let's start with this image here of Indigo, which I took at my latest trip to Mount Baw Baw on the Good Shot Mate trip. So this is straight out of camera, no settings and all that. I will apply my preset that I usually go to, or maybe suss out a few presets. Some of it might not actually be good. I do have a lot of ones that are for neons and stuff like that. For me, I always go for skin tones that are closer to the actual model. So for Indigo's case, this seems like the right color tone here. And so what I'm gonna do is really bring back some of that skin color. Got that bluish tone, so I'm gonna bring up the white balance. A lot warmer. Pay attention to some of these highlights. So if I click on this arrow, I will see where the detail is blown out. So all that stuff's already blown out. If I hover over here, all those other shadows that are already blown out. That's just naturally the preset, nothing to worry about. If I drag the ends, notice I'm bringing the blacks back, and now when I hover over it, the shadows are gone. It's just basic histogram, which you can even turn it on in your camera to make sure that you're properly exposing. Yep, so I'm just gonna reset that, and I'm gonna bring up the temperatures back. Oh, too much. There we go. I'm pretty happy with the general exposure. Maybe we could bump it up a little bit. Maybe add in a little S-curve, very subtle. Get that bit of punchiness to it. Some people like lifting the blacks, but I don't like that. That's not my personal style, so I'm just gonna bring it back down. Color-wise, you could copy exactly the same. I don't sell presets, like, to be honest. The way I'm gonna teach color theory in the future videos, you don't need presets, you'll just understand. And even if you look at the before and after preset preview, once you understand how to use these tools, you can create the preset yourself. I'm not shitting on people that make presets, but you know, 99% of the time, that preset's not gonna work 100%. You know, you got different exposures, or the way you shoot is different lens, different color profiles, different, you know, everything, all right? It can be just not what you expect. And so it's all about getting that final like 10% to get it right, or to get it the look that you wanted. All right, so let's see. I'm kind of digging orange. I feel like the sky could be a bit more blue, so let's saturate the blues. Generally, you could click on this, go to the image, and you could choose the saturation. Noting that the snow is also getting some of the blue, so you don't want to overdo it. I do want to shift the blue to a more greenish tinge. That's typically what I do. And I drop the luminance to bring in the darkness of the sky. I think I might have overdone the green shift in the blues, so I'm going to bring that slightly back. Alright, so split toning, I generally just go with a more orangey highlight. So if I hold Alt, I'll get to see what it looks at full saturation. I generally leave that as is. What I do, I try and maintain the skin color. But see, that's the thing. A lot of photographers, they either have it too red or too tanned. It's sort of a two-way street. The way I see it is the model would like to use her photos as well as your photos. Now, all of a sudden, if your photo makes her look nothing like her to the rest of her profile, then she can't use it. Then the rest, I just go to calibration, muddle around some colors. All right, so now that I've done the basic coloring and all that in Lightroom, I'm gonna go and export it out to Photoshop, and then we're gonna do some skin retouching and basically any Photoshop required. So yeah, as you can see here, Celine is at the back and some other photographer's taking a photo of her. So I'll have to Photoshop her out and pretty much just fix up some tiny blemishes, maybe remove that hair. So let's get into it.
So let's go.
So now I'm gonna go into dodging and burning. Basically, it's a skin retouching technique. It's also used to even out shadows and all that, or to shape things. I'm just gonna breeze through it. I won't go in too much of a detail because, as I said, this is a high level video and I could go on for hours just on dodge and burn. Now that's dodge and burn done, it's looking pretty good. Show you the difference. This is before and this is after. Now I'm gonna do frequency separation, and usually people either use frequency separation or dodge and burn or a bit of both. I'm the type that uses both, so I'm just gonna use the mixer brush to do the final mixing of the underlying colors. Okay, so before, after. And then now I will do a skin gradient map. So basically it's just a gradient map that I mapped out for skin tones, which adds a bit more color back into the skin. So typically, if you make a cooler image, it'll make the whole image a bit more warmer. In this case, I wanted to keep it the really cold sort of vibe. So what I'm gonna do is only apply it to the face. Next, I'm going to sharpen the image. I generally use a high pass sharpen with a bit of a two-stager, but I will run through in the later videos of how to set it up. Alright, so that's basically the Photoshop part done, and one last step I usually do is I chuck it back into Lightroom and then play around with the colors. You know what? Scrap that. It looks pretty good as it is and I'm pretty happy with it, so I might just upload it. But I will do one final check, and that is I usually upload it onto an app called Preview, see how it looks on my feed, does it blend in consistently, and check it out how it looks on my phone, then adjust the colors accordingly. Mate, how could I forget? Okay, so obviously there was snow, but it wasn't actually snowing because it was still relatively warm. So to add to that, I'm going to add some fake snow in there. Now, Flern does a couple of tutorials on how to make your own brushes to do snow, and so I strongly recommend you go check him out. He is the OG of OGs. Okay, so I've added the snow and I'm pretty much happy with the overall image, the colors and everything. Now I export at 1080p on the short edge just to optimize the sharpness on Instagram, and that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe. And also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, it's @_mellow.k. Make sure to follow me only if you like my content. See ya.